Hey everyone, welcome to From the Gut, the podcast powered by Debbie's Dream Foundation, Curing Stomach Cancer. This is where we share bold conversations, raw stories, and powerful breakthroughs in the world of stomach cancer, told by the people living it and also leading it. I'm your host, Monique, and in today's episode is all about a family who's been impacted by the CDH1 mutation and the importance of genetic testing. And to help us unpack that, we're joined by a family of cousins, Priscilla, Brittine, and Teresa Frias, who each carry the CDH1 mutation. There's also a cousin named Socorro who unfortunately was not able to attend today's episode, but we are so excited to have them on today's show. They're going to share with us their journey, insights, and voice with us. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please leave us a review. And of course, go ahead and subscribe for future episodes. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment down below. In fact, throughout this whole episode, please feel free to share your insights, your opinions, and your comments as you're watching this on YouTube. So without further ado, let's bring on our amazing guests. Welcome, Priscilla and Teresa.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So with that said, let's just jump right in. So can each of you share your personal journey with stomach cancer and how the CDH1 gene has impacted your family? Teresa, you go first.
Okay. We have obviously the CDH1 gene that runs in our family. It initially started with an uncle back in the 70s who passed away from it, my Uncle Joe Ramirez. And then Priscilla's mom and uncle got it. And then in 2009, my aunt, Socorro's mom, my Aunt Yolanda Velo, she got it. And then she passed away from it. Then her daughter, my cousin Dolores, she got it in 2015 and then tested her. And so that's when we knew there was a gene that ran in our family. Right after that, Socorro and I got tested together, got our results together. We both had the gene. And obviously, once you have the gene, they want you to get your screenings and everything. Excuse me. So we did. We went together. He had it, his first endoscopy came back that he had it. He got it in 2016. Socorro was actually the first one in our family to have the gastrectomy. He was our guinea pig. And then I got it in 2017. And I had stomach cancer as well. And I had my total gastrectomy. But if it wasn't for the gene, when they tested my cousin Dolores, I wouldn't be here today. None of us would.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that and just even the timeline of events. What about you, Priscilla, as far as you testing and then also if there was any screening and just your process and journey?
My process and journey was, for one, I didn't know they were my cousins. That was another whole different story in its own. I found them by asking my uncle and found out that he brought Socorro up and said, Mija, he's, the stomach cancer is so bad in our family and, he's fighting. And I go, Socorro? I'm like, what? I think I have him on my Facebook. I mean, this is crazy. And so I said, is this him? And then I had to like show him the picture right there and there. And I showed it to him. He's like, yeah, that's him. That's your cousin. I said, what? I said, okay, that's it. I reached out to him and inboxed him. And then that's when it opened up the whole door, the whole window of me going into this journey. And then I found Teresa, all these other cousins came, that I never met before. And then another cousin reached out and said, Mija, you might want to know that there's a genetic mutation that in our family, your family, you might want to go get tested. And this whole time I thought I was on top of it because I watched my mom pass away when I was 14 and she was 42 years old. So all of that time, I thought I was doing the best that I could by being on top of it. I'm a proactive person to begin with. And then to find this out that it was genetic mutation, it literally, it was terrifying, but also I think that's where it lit a fire in me to want to know more, to do what I got to do, to just to save my life, really, and save my kids' life. And then I went ahead and scheduled my prophylactic gastrectomy. At the time, we had a high endoscopy, like biopsies prior to me removing my stomach, and everything was fine. Everything was fine. And I thought it was okay, but the doctors kind of pushed for, you might want to remove your stomach because it's an 80% chance of you getting stomach cancer, 60% chance of you getting breast cancer. So watching my mom die, watching my uncle die, and hearing about all these other family members, that already, like, I already knew what I had to do. And so I made my date. So my mom passed away February 1st, and I decided to make a new, like, not celebration, but more of we're gonna have to go through this. Why not make something that was terribly done, or like when I lost my mom on February 1st, to now make this gastrectomy a new thing in our family. So I actually purposefully made March 1st my date. And I'm hoping that I hope my kids don't have it, but going down, hope that maybe next the kids can do like the first of every month. I hope not, but if that's the case, we can start a little trend in our family.
I forgot to add, oh, sorry, Priscilla.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
I forgot to add that during the time that my cousin Dolores, when she found out she had it, she was already at a stage 4. Same thing with the rest of our family members. But in between that time of Dolores, we had 2 twin uncles as well. They both had it and passed away within a year of each other. So we literally had 4 funerals in 2 years and lost 4 family members. And like Priscilla said, when you get the CDH1 gene, it's 80% stomach and the rest lobular breast cancer. My mother had lobular breast cancer and had a double mastectomy back in the height of COVID. And so thankfully she didn't. It's sad to say, but I'm thankful to God that she didn't have stomach and she got the breast cancer, because I don't know if she could have, she's a strong woman, so I know she could have, but knowing what I went through, it would be hard to see my mother at that age go through that.
Speaking of hope, if you or someone you love has a family history of stomach cancer, don't wait. Stomach cancer is one of the deadliest cancers worldwide because it's often caught too late, but it doesn't have to be. At Debbie's Dream Foundation, you'll find free resources on genetic testing, early detection, and the symptoms to watch for. There's no need to walk this road alone, whether you're looking for answers, support, or a second chance. Go to debbiesdream.org right now and take the first step towards answers, empowerment, and peace of mind. Because when it comes to stomach cancer, early action can save lives. Thank you both to sharing. Wow, yeah, that's quite a journey, and just like you said, so many funerals within a span of 2 years, and then
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then Priscilla, not knowing you have cousins, your world and your family expanded, all because of this, and then each of you having to go through what were the necessary steps to help you all stay alive and combat this gene, let alone the cancer. So with that said, before we dig even deeper into you all's family story, your history, I kind of want to just segue for a quick bit about the Debbie's Dream Foundation, how you all discovered Debbie's Dream Foundation, but more importantly, how DDF supported you in your fight against stomach cancer. Priscilla, you can go first if you'd like.
Okay, so I found Debbie's Dream it was probably around COVID. I had my gastrectomy in 2019. And so those couple months after I talked to my cousins Teresa and Socorro a lot that year, but I didn't I think to me I didn't want to like bug them or overwhelm them. I know they were there for me, but I also I just started typing stuff into Facebook and about stomach cancer. Like maybe there has to be a community. Maybe there's more people. I even reached out and asked my doctor, is there like a community where we can just go and talk about what we've gone through? And there was at the time, but COVID kind of ruined that because I went to a couple of those classes and a couple of those people in the class though, I was the youngest. There is so many older patients. And they just kind of looked at me when I walked in like, oh, you're so young. And I'm like, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, it was different. But I found Debbie's Dream on Facebook. And so at the time it was COVID. So we were doing like the meetings that we were meeting on Zoom with our basically we were having the meeting with the representatives and everything. And so I was at work and I remember that day I said, yeah, I'm all for it. We were going to have a meeting with Trace Davids. And I was like, yes, yeah, I was so excited. And I work at a hospital. So I said, I'm going to do my best to get on. And I remember I got the times mixed up. It was like an hour, I don't know, Central Time. I got the hours all mixed up. And I got on and I missed it by an hour. And I was so bummed, but I was like, okay, it's all right. So I took it in my own hands. I even wrote, I think I might have wrote to Governor Kelly. I did some other things that, yeah, I think I wrote a big old long letter. And then I reached out to them afterwards. But then that next year, everything started going back in person. So I said, oh my gosh, we got to do this. And then that's when I called Teresa and I said, come on, you got to do this with me. You have to do this with me. She didn't want to at first. Honestly, I think I signed everything up for her.
She did.
But I was just so gun-ho about we're doing this. You know, we have to do this.
Yeah.
So Debbie's Dream has been literally the core foundation for us and really has given me the strength and the motivation to bring our voices up front and spread more awareness and just make our stories heard because survivor stories need to be told and they need to be heard.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Priscilla. So what about you, Teresa, outside of the fact that initially you did not want to join, but let's hear about your story.
Well, I didn't at first. I was like, wait, what? And because I had already been like a few years out. So like, I'm just like, okay, fine. And she's like, well, I'm going to do it. I already signed you up. I'm like, okay, fine. And so, but I'm so thankful that she did because I mean, it just opened me up to a new world, honestly, of more people who were just like me. And I didn't realize, like, when you go and you advocate and you step in that room and that hotel for your first day of meeting people, there is so many people who are just like you. And to know that you have someone who was there who can sympathize with you and can, you know, just like Priscilla said, share your stories. And they, you know, people have issues with, you know, protein intake or this or that. How you feel about your sugar? What can I do about this? Like, it's so amazing. And then to get to go and meet your representatives and advocate, because number one, you have to be an advocate for yourself, not only in your doctor's office, but in life in general. And this organization honestly truly means the world to me, and it's my way of giving back, and for my kids too, and anyone else that's going through it. But Debbie's Dream has truly been a lifeline for me, honestly.
Speaking of impact, your support could be the reason someone catches stomach cancer in time. At Debbie's Dream Foundation, every dollar fuels research, education, and critical resources for patients, survivors, and families. This isn't just about giving. It's about fighting for a future where no one faces this disease alone or too late. Whether it's $10 or $100, your gift funds free genetic testing guides, survivor mentorship, advocacy on Capitol Hill, and so much more. Make a one-time gift or become a monthly donor today at debbiesdream.org. Because together, we can drive progress, and every click brings us closer to a cure. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, most definitely. Debbie's Dream Foundation is definitely an organization that wants to support those who are not only going through stomach cancer or gastric cancer, but even for the allies or the family members. You know, it's not just about the patients, it's about the caregivers as well. So thank you so much for sharing to both of you. So let's dive back deep into you all's story and your family. And this is more so about talking about the importance of family history. So let's talk about how family history plays a role in our health. And my question to you both is, what would you like people to understand about the genetic component of stomach cancer and its impact on families?
For one, I want people to know to maybe learn about their family history. I know for me, I thought I was doing the best that I could. And, then bam, found out about this genetic mutation. And that opened up a whole nother world to know that, we have a mutation that's causing us to die early. I mean, if you can know about it ahead of time, you can change the whole course of your life. You can save your own life. You can save your kids and future generations, just like we did in our families. My mom and her brother, they're not here. What I wouldn't do to have my mom here, trust me. I was the only child, so my mom was everything. But, they were, I feel like, for me, I feel like they may, their life may have been gone, but they were the start of this whole mutation. And they opened up the door for future generations in our family. And we are able to tell that story and hopefully share with other people around the world that are going through this or may not even know. Sometimes generations down the road get lost, or families go through things, who knows what. But just ask questions, get to know your family history is so very crucial in someone's life.
Most definitely. Thank you for sharing. Teresa?
I think it's genetics is key. We need, I mean, people don't understand. And thankfully, we had an amazing genetics counselor at KU that has our whole family history and takes us all into consideration and is always like, you need to get your family in here. Everybody needs to be tested. I think we honestly have the biggest family tree that they have there. My grandmother had 13 kids, and there's a lot of us, and we all have a lot of kids. So I think it honestly truly is, because you never know. Just same thing as like, not just stomach cancer. It could be, heart disease, or, the BRCA gene. It could be anything. And I think it's truly imperative. Like Priscilla said, you can change the trajectory of your life, but also protect your children. I know that if my cousin Dolores, which is Socorro's sister, had she been aware of this gene, she would have done everything she needed to do to be there for her children. She was married. She was 38, have 4 kids, and she died. And I think if we knew about the gene ahead of time, she'd still be alive. She would still be alive. So I think that, and she was like my best friend. We call them, in Spanish, we call them primas hermanas, which means like sister cousins. Right. And that was me and her. And I know Socorro with my Aunt Yoli, and with Dolores, he was the baby and he's the only boy. So he misses his mother dearly. He actually had his total gastrectomy on her birthday.
Wow.
And yeah, so we always think that maybe that was, we believe in science.
Sure.
We're Latinos, but I think that, genetics is key, and it's something you can save yourself, save future generations.
Most definitely. And in fact, another question that I have, because you both have mentioned if the kids knew or if the family knew ahead of time, they would still have their parent, whether it's their mother or father. So, how do you approach conversations with children about the genetic risks that they may face?
I didn't tell my kids. Well, they knew that I had the gene, but now that they're old, they were young when I had cancer. My younger two were young. I have 4 kids. They're all older now. But it is something that you do need to talk to your children about, because one day they might get married and have children of their own, or you want to give them that same protection that you had. Like, if you have the gene, then this is what you need to do. And thankfully our doctors, our surgeons have told us, like, if they have the gene, this is when we need them to come in. This is when they need to start getting tested. So, I mean, I've been pretty open about my kids when it comes to that. Same thing with my nieces and my nephews, And so everyone in the family, honestly, we've as soon as we found out, Socorro and I found out we had the gene, we've been telling everybody, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Sometimes people want to hear it and sometimes people don't, but we still spread the word. But it's imperative, my children especially, that they know.
Right. Thank you, Teresa. What about you, Priscilla? Oh, yeah, Priscilla.
So my kids, I have a 19-year-old, 15-year-old, and 13-year-old. I have been totally open with my kids from day one. And my youngest at the time, he saw me go through my hardest times. They all did, but my youngest really, he actually, at the time, he wanted to participate. He wanted to help out a lot. He wasn't scared. So he was a lot of times he was at the bedside. And now that they're older, they are very aware. My oldest actually wants to get tested, and he's about to turn 20 this year. So in September, he will be tested. So we'll see where this lies, but what happens. But if anything, like I told him, I go, don't be scared, don't be worried. I mean, it's natural to have all these feelings, because I remember that, but you have a whole team behind you. You have the biggest support system, because a lot of us, we went through it, but we're still here. We're here living, telling telling everybody our stories, and we will help you through this if you are positive and if you have to go through this.
Thank you. Yes. That's great. And like you said, Teresa, I'm sure there's some family members who want to hear it and some who don't. So it's just a matter of just keeping encouraging them. And like you both have said, it's not even just about, the you-all's mutation or the cancer. It could be any disease, right? And so
correct.
I know that can be, for some people, a hard conversation with family members. With that said, what are some barriers do you all believe exist when it comes to accessing genetic testing and early detection services?
I feel like some barriers are, I guess what I see a lot, and I see this all over, is patients getting misdiagnosed for acid reflux, or patients being misdiagnosed or just dismissed because they look healthy on the outside, or they are young, they're healthy. I see that a lot. And I feel like doctors need to maybe have a little bit of more education. I think that will help. And with research, I feel like they shouldn't easily dismiss patients, easily dismiss like the acid reflux, because, that may be the start of something more serious, and that can save somebody's life. But if it gets dismissed like it did with my mom, my mom got dismissed for acid reflux several times. My dad had to take her to the hospital, and oh, it was just acid reflux, acid reflux. She did that for that year prior, and things just got worse. And I feel like at least they probably could have had a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat the question, Monique?
Sure. No problem at all. What barriers do you believe exist when it comes to accessing genetic testing and early detection services?
Well, I think with genetic testing, sometimes I think people, if they don't have insurance, obviously the cost is a main thing. And then if you don't have health insurance, they'll be like, well, okay, well, what if I have the gene? Then how am I gonna, and I gotta go and do this, but I don't have insurance. Or, I think number one, the cost of the testing sometimes is a deterrent for people. Although sometimes they do have like grants and stuff to help you. I know now a lot of the times, now more specifically, you have to have a referral now to get genetic testing. And if you don't have insurance or you don't have a physician, it's kind of hard for you to get that, especially someone who probably hasn't been to the doctor or, the ones that don't go, you know what I mean? So I think number one, that is a big deal. And I think and then once you get there, like Priscilla said, it's sometimes just dismissing your symptoms. And a lot of the times, there's been times where I'll go to my doctor too if I go to like urgent care, or, not my PCP. They're like, well, what is that? What is the CDH1? I've never heard of that before. So I think education, and just like, you know, lawyers have to do their CLE stuff. I mean, I know doctors do their continuing educations too, but I think um, this needs to be more prevalent so they know how to treat patients sometimes.
Thank you. So, Priscilla, you've kind of answered this question in a way in regards to your oldest child, your son, in testing. But I want to ask you again, and also you, of course, Teresa. And Teresa, you'll go first after this. But what advice would you give to people who may feel scared or uncertain about undergoing genetic testing?
That it's okay to be scared. It's okay, and you have a 50% chance of getting it. Like I said, I have 4 kids. My oldest is 20, he'll be 27. And then I have 3 daughters. Karina's 23. She got tested but does not have the gene. She was a basket case the day of. And I know that feeling, and I was there for her. And I have a 18-year-old and a 16-year-old. And my 18-year-old's in college, and she's like, I'll get tested. I don't care. Like, it's whatever, but you just have to stay positive, and it's okay. Your feelings are valid and it's okay. But sometimes in order to save your life, you have to do it, especially with the CDH1 gene. I also have a grandson. My grandbaby is 5. He'll be 6. And so I worry about him too. But I want all my kids to get tested. My oldest will. But it's okay to be scared. Your feelings are valid and it's okay. I just hope you have someone with you when you do get your results, because it is kind of emotional and it gets a little overwhelming. If you do have it, you'll get a flood of information, but it's okay. You'll be okay.
Thank you. Priscilla?
What she said about, you will be okay and your feelings are valid. We go through these highs and lows. I feel like even in healthcare in general, with, it's our bodies, it's we don't know what's going to happen. But I truly feel that, there's a community out here that's wanting to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use your voice, and sometimes people like to be quiet about it, which is totally understandable, but there are actually people that really genuinely want to help you,
Mm-hmm.
and they will be by your side. You just, have to use your voice and, just say, I'm sorry, but I'm going through it. I need some help. Or I just, even if
Yep.
it's just a talk, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
communication, just a talk can, at least for me, it makes me feel better just talking about things. It truly does. But it's a whole community that I feel like would like to help you. And just if you just use your voice, and like Teresa said, it's your feelings are valid. Of you're gonna have some highs, your lows, you're gonna, be terrified, but you're not alone.
Thank you so much, Priscilla, for sharing that. So, what do you hope, to the both of you, the medical community and researchers will focus on in the future to support families such as yours?
Go ahead, Pris.
I feel like more diagnostic testing, like better diagnostic testing for stomach cancer patients, and make it a little bit easier accessing for genetics. When patients have to go for genetics, don't make it so complicated. That would probably help a lot more patients. And education for providers, education for researchers, so they know what they're looking at when they're behind that lab. They're looking at all these genes, these mutations, and who knows? I mean, I truly feel in my heart that they're coming closer to a cure for stomach cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But, the funding needs to be there. That it truly does. The funding needs to be there for not just stomach cancer, but all cancers in general.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Teresa.
Well, for me, I think, I mean, there's got to be a better way than, when we do our, sometimes they say all the time, like, even though, we have to do our endoscopies and then you do the endoscopic ultrasound, it doesn't get all the way down in there to see your stomach, which is why they do biopsies. And they're not taken, for us, they're not taken like one or two. And I didn't even realize this. There's 5 parts to your stomach until after I seen my pathology and realized that I had stomach cancer, like where it truly was. They, every time I had mine, they take like 30, 35, you know? And I think there's just got to be a better way. And I know, like Priscilla said, like I truly believe they're on the cusp. Like when the speakers and the physicians that come to Debbie's Dream that speak to us and they tell us, look, we're here. Like the researchers, the physicians in the labs, like I just think to me, I just think, and a lot of them are super educated, but I just think that we need, there's got to be a different way. And I don't know what it is, but I know our physician, Dr. Akaspul, said diagnostic testing. That's what our surgical oncologist told us. So I think that.
Okay. Thank you to you both.
Okay.
Before we wrap up, we always end with our signature rapid fire segment. It's called the gut check. All right. So it's 5 questions, no prep, no filter. Just say what's in your gut. Okay. What comes top of mind in your gut.
Even though we don't have
Right.
one.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Metaphorically.
We can keep that one
yeah.
in there. I'm just kidding.
Okay. What's one thing you wish every stomach cancer patient knew? Rapid fire. Quick.
You'll be okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Priscilla?
Oh gosh, sorry, I'm frozen. That it's a long journey, but with a fighting spirit and positiviness, you'll get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Next question. Describe your stomach cancer journey in 3 words.
hard,
Resilience,
Keep going. You both can go at the same time.
courageous,
transformative,
Okay.
blessed.
and purposeful.
All right. Love it. The moment you'll never forget.
Being told I had stomach cancer.
Okay.
The look in my
When
children's eyes when I had to tell them.
Priscilla.
And my recovery.
Okay. Thank you. Teresa.
when I found out I was positive for the mutation, and then when I went into the lab, or when they took my stomach out and I thought I didn't have it, but then when they dissected and sent my stomach to lab, it came back with beginning stages of stomach cancer. So that was a feeling I will never forget. It was a feeling of hope, of just, oh my gosh, it was just, I was crying. It was like, it's like this is why I did what I did. And if I did not do it, if I would have said no, I probably wouldn't have been here. So I'm glad I went with my heart and decided to prophylactically remove my stomach, because all along I had it and didn't even know it. So just I'm thankful that I'm here and alive.
Thank you.
Me too.
Yes. Yes. A myth you want to bust about cancer.
That you're too young to get stomach cancer.
Same.
Okay.
My answer would be the same to hers.
Last one.
Go
ahead.
I feel like some doctors think it's a old people cancer, or like older people get it, but no, younger generations, younger people get it.
Cancer does not discriminate.
Right.
So
it could be for any
doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
I was just about to say that.
Any age, anything.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. Last question. Finish this sentence. From the gut that you guys do not have, I want people to know.
Ooh. Go ahead, Priscilla.
I want people to know to use your voices, to advocate, to ask questions. You're not alone. You have a whole community behind you. And we all support each other. And you are loved.
Yep. You are loved. You are loved. You are not alone. Don't get discouraged. It's not a death sentence always. It's not always a death sentence. Have faith in yourself, in God, if you believe. And to know, like Priscilla said, you have a whole community behind you. Even if you don't have one sitting next to you, this is what Debbie's Dream is for. And we are all here to support you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. Speaking of Debbie's Dream Foundation offers so many impactful programs, from patient education to support groups and more. But one of the most powerful efforts they lead in is in advocacy, particularly Advocacy Day, which brings survivors, families, and advocates together to push for crucial federal funding for stomach cancer research. Now, from my understanding, you both have been involved in advocacy yourself. And I would love to ask this question. Can you share why this matters so much and what message you'd give to people thinking about getting involved?
I think it's number one, it's powerful. It's so empowering to go. And when you're advocating for yourself and others, but me especially, for my family, my children, my future generations, and even everyone across the world, and to get to know that you have your voice and you can use it. And that's, our representatives are there to hopefully do what we elected them to do. And when it comes to this mission, it's super important because, again, it affects everyone, but I thoroughly enjoy meeting with my representatives, telling my story, and knowing that hopefully, I have made an impact for everyone in the room and that I'm with, and everyone that comes all over. If you haven't, I totally encourage you to come. We need more people to come and represent from more states, and just know that you have a whole support. You have no idea. We get to find each other with our pretty scarves, and you see somebody walking around the hall, you're like, hey, you know, it's amazing. And I thoroughly enjoy going. I really, truly do. And knowing that I'm making a difference, and that means the world to me.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Priscilla?
Mm-hmm.
For me, hope brings action. And without hope, we need to use our voices and bring action. And when we go to Washington, we do that. Mm-hmm. We bring hope to future generations. And we are that action when we're in Washington, D.C. We are there meeting with our representatives, and they genuinely listen. They listen to our individual stories, but we need more people to go mm-hmm. out there, to go to Washington. From mm-hmm. like Teresa said, we need you all from every state in the world to mm-hmm. come out there, come on the Hill, and advocate for more funding for stomach cancer, because it's one of the less funded stomach cancers. And we need more funding for stomach cancer. And when we go, it is literally like a second family. We see each other, and it's like they're my sisters and brothers, and we only see each other once a year.
I know.
We're already saying we can't do this. We need to get together
more
at least
in
a couple
between.
more times.
Yes.
But it also brings networking where we meet so many people from around the world, and we go through the same thing, and we're literally across the whole world, like across like in California. Mm-hmm. And we're going through the same thing, but we, mm-hmm. We're over here in Kansas City. And when we get to Washington, it's like we're all one, but we're all fighting for one thing. And it's just so powerful. You just have to go, at least try it out and come out there. Check out Debbie's Dream. It's a beautiful foundation. It really, truly is.
I think there's power in numbers, and the more people we can get, the better our voice can be heard. So there's power in numbers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Priscilla and Teresa, for sharing your heart, your wisdom, and your courage. Hopefully we can actually bring you all back with Socorro as the 3rd edition.
Yeah.
Since you 3 cousins are here, and your story isn't just powerful, it's a lifeline for someone listening right now, especially with, I'm just learning so much, just, family history, genetic testing, how important that is. And so thank you so much for being here and for sharing that. And if today's conversation helped you feel seen, those of you all who are listening and watching us right now, where you feel seen, informed, or empowered, please help us spread it. Please go ahead and subscribe to From the Gut wherever you listen to podcasts or watch on YouTube. Share this episode and head to debbiesdream.org for more resources, research, and ways to support the stomach cancer community. Without further ado, I look forward to seeing you all in our next episode. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.